Toa, Matoran, and Turaga eventually go down to Makuta's lair. They just want to see what's going on and stuff. And then Makuta hurls a shadow ball at the exit or entrance from where they came in, and it blocks the way out. So now they're trapped down there. And then Makuta, like after what he just did, Takanuva is really enraged, and so he goes to attack him. And Makuta throws energy ball, and then Takanuva like grabs it, hurls it around, swings it, hits Makuta. He goes flying into a wall, and then he gets up, and then he's like going right towards Takanuva, and then at the last minute, uh, Takanuva jumps up, grabs Makuta, rips off his mask, takes off his mask, puts it on Makuta's face, and puts Makuta mask on his face. And they're like fighting, and they fall into the prodermis, and then up arises Takuranuva, a fusion of light and darkness itself. And then they're actually become one and stuff, and then it's sort of weird because Takuranuva's like, "Light has revealed the will of Matanui. Our brother must be awakened." And he lifts a gate. I'm not sure where that gate, what it's supposed to be, but he lifts it, and so like I guess he's like letting it's a gate to the outside world or like a secret passageway or something like that because everyone's running through, and while he's running through, Holly, who was a friend of Takua and Jollar's, she was holding Jollar's mask, and then like he stops her, and then using his powers, he like brings Jollar back to life and stuff, and so that's pretty neat. But then the weight becomes too much for him, and because he's still holding the gate and stuff, and then eventually, he gets tired. The gate comes, crushes him, and his mask, like, well, Takanuva's mask, like, slides over, and and so like then they collect it and stuff. They think he's dead and stuff, and so the six Toa gather around to revive, to wake up Matanui, and well, yeah, I guess you can say they thought they did. They they're wrong. They're wrong, by the way. But hey, Takanuva's back. Now, right after the events of Mask of Light, the Turaga discover that they found a way to Metro Nui, their old home. And during this time, the Turaga, Bakama, tells them the story of Metro Nui of when he and the other Turaga were Toa. But I've already talked about that, so I'm not going into detail there. And so, while they're on the way to Metro Nui, um, you know, it's actually funny. I don't know how they actually got back. Well, anyway, the Paraka, remember those guys? They're coming to Metru Nui, and so they go there. They find giant manus crabs blocking the way and stuff, and so they're like, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, they go there and they find Makuta's they find his armor shattered under the gate and stuff, and so they're like not sure what's going on, and then they find out that what killed him, and they're like, there's a Toa of light, and so everyone's like, yeah, and so then they're going around exploring the stuff, and then they find some of his experiments and stuff, like one of his like I guess new weapons. One of them was a spear fusion. Now, I think it was Radak. No, it was what's his name? Well, the red one, Hakan. He had the spear fusion, and he accidentally points it at Vezon, and the spear shoots a beam of energy at a Vezok. That's what I'm looking for. Vezok, and then it, like, splits him into two people, so he's like Vezok and his new form, Vezon. That's what I was going to say. And so then it's like it's his double, and he comes over, he takes that spear of fusion, but then Vezok awakens, and like part of his intelligence is gone because of Vezon, because he's not whole anymore, and so he wants to be one again. So, but like uh, Zaktan's like, we don't have time for this, and so Riddick comes over and he grabs the Spirit Fusion, breaks it, then breaks it again, and so they're still going around, and then they find the man's crabs, which are chasing them around. And so while they're trying to figure out what to do, all of a sudden Vezon's ditched. They don't know where he is, and so they barely escape. And then they find 6 Toa canisters. They're wondering, I wonder what we should do. And somewhere along the line, they decide to go after the Mask of Life, which is what I'll be talking about shortly. And so they hop in, and right before they all leave, Hakan goes and he punctures a hole in Vezok's canister, and he welds the hatch shut. So not only will he not be able to open it, but there's a hole. So, and they're traveling by sea, so their water's gonna leak into there, and Vezok will eventually drown. So that happens, and shortly after they leave, sometime about then, that's when the Toa, Matorn, and stuff like that, they come back to Mechnui, and how did they find Taraga Duma? So yeah, Taraga Duma's there, and he's like waiting for them and stuff. They did not explain how that happened, unless I missed something. Let me know if I missed something. I probably did. But anyway, they're talking together, and some weird things are happening because Madanui's supposed to be awake, and yet they're looking up in the sky, and the stars are going dark for some reason. And he and Taraga Nuju are talking about it, and then eventually they come to the same conclusion. Madanui's dying. Yeah. Meanwhile, while that's happening, the 6 Paraka land on the island of Voyanui, and they appear to be in various places and stuff, and they go proclaiming that they are Toa, and the Matoran are there and stuff. They're trying to use them, so hey, we're Toa, do our stuff, work for us, help us find the Mask of Life, but we're not telling you that we're trying to find the Mask of Life. And so they're doing that, and at first, things seem a little weird with the so-called Toa, because they're not exactly acting the way they feel that Toa should be acting, and and so some of them are starting to feel a little worried about that, and they sort of want to sneak in, and they find out information that they're not Toa, and so yeah, it's really complicated. But while that's going on, so then the Taraga decide that the 6 Toa must go to Voyanui to find the Mask of Life to revive Matanui, and they really have a short time, because once Matanui dies, the whole universe dies. And Takanova has to stay because, well, they need someone to guard Matanui. I mean, it's really not safe, although Metronui's been untouched for years after what happens in Web of Shadow Saga, so I don't know why they think anyone will really come back. By the way, someone does come back, but that's a different story.